With the general election quickly approaching, the race for New Jersey governor is heating up. A new Quinnipiac poll just released yesterday shows Democrat Mikie Sherrill leading Republican Jack Ciattarelli by just 8%, which is down from 20% back in June.
It's a race that's getting a whole lot of national attention, though. Joining us now to talk about his chances is Republican Jack Ciattarelli. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, let's talk about this new poll. Obviously, the numbers don't look good in your favor, but you have always said maybe don't pay attention to these numbers because you're seeing it a different way. Explain why that is.
We don't place a whole lot of faith in the polls that come out of the universities. They don't invest the necessary money. Those are the same polls that had Kamala Harris winning New Jersey last year by 20 plus. It was much closer. Those are the same polls that had me down by 12 points with 2 weeks to go last time, and we know how close it was. We've got it as a dead heat, as does my opponent.
Let's talk about the top issues. So property taxes are consistently a #1 concern for many New Jerseyans. How do you plan to cut taxes?
A number of different ways. We've got to reduce the size and cost of a bloated state government. It took us 238 years to get the $36 billion budget. In 8 years, we've gone from $36 billion to $59 billion. It's bloated, it's inefficient, it's got waste. I'll responsibly reduce the size and cost of our state government to afford a tax cut for our business and our individuals, but for seniors in particular. All retirement income will be tax-free, and we'll freeze property taxes once people hit age 70. And for first-time home buyers, we're going to cap them at 1% of the assessed value of the home so they can get started.
All right, let's stick on these numbers here because I think this is what really people have an issue with, and especially when we talk about electricity bills. They are paying New Jersey families paying about 20% more than the national average for electricity. And I think it's about to be $25 to $30 more with this new price increase expected. How are you supposed to tackle this? I mean, you're going up against a giant when it comes to electricity companies, but how would you bring these prices down?
Well, number one, we need to pull out of RGGI. The Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative has been a failure. It's a carbon tax. It costs New Jersey ratepayers close to $500 million a year. By executive order, I can pull us out of RGGI and save everybody all that money, and that's homeowners, tenants, and businesses. But let's make no mistake, while my opponent is blaming this on the president's had nothing to do with what happened in New Jersey. We used to be an electricity exporter. Today we have to import it because the current governor, with the support of my opponent, shut down 6 different electricity generation plants, didn't expand our nuclear footprint in South Jersey, and didn't accelerate solar. He bet it all on wind. And here we are today importing it and paying through the nose. It's painful.
You know, speaking of President Trump, you've been endorsed by him, and polls show a large number of voters want the next New Jersey governor to stand up to the president. So how are you going to navigate that tension?
The president realizes we have a relationship, and he realizes at the end of the day, I'm going to advocate for New Jerseyans, but we're thankful for the fact that he put a temporary halt on the wind farms off the Jersey Shore. I'll make that permanent. He's beaten up on New York Democrats over their congestion pricing plan, which is an egregious money grab. We shouldn't have to pay for their subway system. And look what he just did with the big, beautiful bill. I mean, my goodness, he's quadrupled the SALT deduction. For those high property taxes in New Jersey, that's a big deal, and my opponent voted no on that.
Let's talk about taxes because I feel like no one loves paying taxes. So I want to go back to what your opponent has said is your biggest issue, which is claiming that you have raised taxes in almost every, I guess, area of government, and even floated the idea of raising taxes on essentials like food and clothing. Is that misleading? Is she right? Is there some form of, I guess, truth in that? And maybe you can explain yourself.
It's not only misleading, it's a blatant lie. And I always say the first sign of defeat for a candidate is when they start lying in that way, and they know it. So I've got a plan that reduces taxes across the board for New Jerseyans in a very fiscally responsible way. But no, we're not setting the sales tax to 10%. It's a lie, but it's not the only lie. As I said, she blames the president for the energy crisis, and she's even out there saying that if you believe in green energy, if you're a good person, you'll absorb the extra cost.
All right, Jack Ciattarelli, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Guys, thank you.